What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Charity Legion, and this is my episode guide for Lucio, the hero in Overwatch. Essentially, this is a game that I thought would be a great example guide for Lucio, because I thought that this sort of represented a lot of good things that you can do with Lucio. Lucio is primarily used for the hardpoint maps, where two teams have to take an objective in the middle, but he works on every single team comp. Lucio is literally the best hero in all of Overwatch, without much dispute. On every single tier list that you might find online of heroes, even though the balance of this game is great, Lucio is always at the #1 spot, or in the top tier. The pros to Lucio is that he is just so good at AoE healing, and people that don't exactly know how to play Lucio, or don't particularly know how to support, can just pick him up and essentially just be a damage dealer, even if they don't know how to properly support. And those who do know how to properly support do so well with him and heal all of their allies and do everything perfectly that he's just such a strong character in that sense as well. At the beginning of games, he can speed you up to get to an objective faster. He can AoE heal your team over time. His heals over time aren't weak at all. His empowered heals are incredibly fast, and it's about as fast as a mercy heal, but on every single member of your team. His ultimate is incredibly powerful for pushing objectives, and what I'm doing here is exactly what you should be doing in Overwatch with any given character, which is there's a choke point with the gate right there behind me, and this is actually a fun play, just murdering everybody and getting a quadra kill. But essentially, you want to be further up or behind the enemy team and flank them, so the majority of your team can just sort of walk in because all of them are focused on you. And if you can do that without dying with someone that's so incredibly good at being aggressive like Lucio, who has constant healing for himself and also being able to deal a ton of damage, then you are absolutely perfect. So going over what I do with Lucio, specifically in this game, I look at the enemy team and I say, okay, so they have a Widowmaker, they have a Torbjorn, they have several different damage dealers that, other than Widowmaker, from what you just saw there, my Zarya dying on the payload, can't really burst down my people too hard, so it's perfect for Lucio. As soon as they start taking damage, what I'm going to do is just pump it up. Exactly. And just make sure that all of my teammates have exactly as much health as they need before they particularly need it, because they are going to get bursted down. But if I don't give them that extra healing, they will die. So doing that preemptively and just sort of starting it right before the damage comes in will keep your teams alive much more often than not. Another great thing about Lucio is that he does a lot of damage, but it's pretty hard to land. A lot of people in this game that deal a ton of damage, like Junkrat, it's just really awkward projectiles that are really hard to land. And Lucio is another one of those characters where he can just do a ton of damage, even though it is hard to land. Another important thing is using your right click to push people away from objectives whenever you're trying to push up, and pushing people toward your team or into ults, like I just did there. So all of that worked out pretty well. And he used Molten Core, so I'm using my ult so that we can at least get away. We definitely can't sustain through that, but we can at least get away from it, and we all stay alive, and we keep on the pressure here. And I see that my Zarya is like half health, so I just pop that, push my enemies toward my team so that they can be taken out easier, sort of like taken away from the turret there, so that they don't have that easy camp spot set up. And then here I'm just allowing myself to deal damage and constantly heal my team. If anyone gets super low, I'm going to hit E. However, that's not the case. And so I'm just dealing damage and healing as many people as I can just with AoE in order to get my ult up. And I see that he's going super ham, so I'm going to go in there and try and help him and push everybody backwards. However, that ult goes off and it's not pretty for our team. But it's not the end of the world. We'll just respawn. People using ultimates is pretty normal. That's going to stop our push for the time being, but we get back in. And as soon as I spawn, I see that there's another person around me. I'm probably texting at this point. But, yes, you can hear my phone in the background. But I speed boost everyone to get back into the point. And I'm going to get my ult up here pretty soon because there are several people on my team that are half health or so. And I'm healing them all. So, essentially what I do is I'm positioning my own body in between the majority of my teammates so I can heal all of them at the same time. I'm not just sort of sitting off to the side like a Mercy or a Zenyatta. I have to put myself in the middle of my team. The nice thing about that is that with Zenyatta, you're immobile. You can't sit in the middle of your team, but with Lucio, you're mobile enough to sort of like sidestep and dance around and make sure you try not to get hit while also throwing out damage of your own. So right here I'm thinking, well, that's a lot of people. He just popped Molten Core. Let's just sort of like wait it out a little bit. My team's thinking, all right, let's go for this. So I see that, and I'm thinking about ulting just because people are pushing in a little bit too far and we need to get this last push. So I do that, and everyone on my team gets the bonus off, pushing them off away from the thing so it pushes up a little bit more. Sadly enough, we don't focus down the Mercy, so they get a lot of people up, but I'm still trying to push people away. I know this is going to be the last push in their defense, so I heal everybody up, and then we win the game. And so that's essentially how Lucio works for the most part. But honestly, it's just a matter of positioning, using your tools whenever you need to before the damage comes in, and using your ultimate in clutch situations in order to push whatever objective you may have. This has been Charity Legion. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Go me.